Welcome to Nonprofit Network, powered by Stokes Auction Group. This is episode 1, and we are a podcast focused on benefit auctions and fundraising events for the nonprofit community. We are a group of fundraising professionals that specialize in raising funds to improve communities of all sizes. Here it is, episode 1. Shall be. Okay. What do we do now?
Now we go, hey, everybody, welcome back.
Oh, hello. Welcome to the Nonprofit Network, powered by Stokes Auction Group. We're back. This is episode number not 0, 1.
Yeah.
Maybe 1.5.
1.2.
We recorded one last week,
back.
but
That's all that matters.
Technical issues. So here we are. We're here to record a podcast and have a little fun.
Yeah, I'm Kelly.
Hey, I'm Paul, and can I take a minute to share a story?
Well, first of all, my name's Shelby Stokes.
Yeah, Shelby,
now
and
you can
now
share
you
your
can
story.
share your
Okay, I thought he already said Shelby.
Share it.
Everybody
No,
knows Shelby.
It better be a good story.
It's a good
Well,
story.
you could probably tell my voice sounds a little bit odd. I think I came down with a cold or something.
Not
and of
COVID.
course,
Definitely not
the very
COVID.
first thing I thought was, oh no,
What?
I've got the C.
You've got the V.
You got the
Oh
vid.
no, I've got the CV. It's
coming
right?
for ya.
Mm-hmm.
So, my wife works at Fred Meyer, and she was able to get a couple of those tests. So, I'm like, do I even really want to do this? But I did the at-home test last night, and it wasn't a pregnancy test.
No, thank God
And
you're
oh
not
my God, and it
pregnant,
was
right?
negative.
Oh, woo!
So, we're feeling good.
Paul is not pregnant,
We
nor
are-
does he have the COVID.
How often do
We
you
are
think a
feeling
COVID
good.
test turns into a pregnancy, though?
We just
I think a lot of things have turned into that over these last 2 years.
Well, yeah, because we had to shelter in place, and there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of those kinds of tests are coming out positive.
That's right. So this is the Nonprofit Network, where we talk about live fundraising events sometimes. Other times we talk about nonprofits.
Yeah.
Or whatever we feel that strikes us today. Yeah.
And today, I think we're going to talk about the 2 years that we have all. I mean, it's almost been 2 years, right?
It's almost been 2 years.
Yeah,
almost
because
been 2
here's the
years.
deal.
It's been
Like,
2 years.
we have to pivot again, right? Like Omicron round whatever of COVID.
Right.
Here's the reaction to the Omicron once again. But we did a pretty good job pivoting the last 2 years. And I know a lot of people that are probably listening to this had to pivot in their own way.
Yeah.
It's been crazy times.
I think everybody has to move and change and apply what's new
Oh.
to their business, right? And we don't know what that is necessarily, so we're all just kind of trying to find out together.
We know it's new.
We know it's new. We know it's different. We know everybody's uncomfortable with it, and so it kind of puts us all in the same zone
Yeah.
a little bit, so that's kind of nice.
Everybody's trying to figure out their home life, too,
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yes.
So if you have a little one on the way over the last 2 years,
Yes.
Congratulations.
Hey, well done.
Yes.
Well, to be holed up in the house all by yourself and find something
Yes.
fun to
Okay,
do.
so do you think in a couple years we're going to have kids rolling around that are named like COVID?
No, I don't think parents will go that far.
You don't think
They'll
so?
name them like sourdough because they also were baking and they've never baked before. So it'll be like, hey, sourdough, come here,
Like-
you cute little
Like
bun.
instead of Vinny, it's Viddy. Like, come here, Viddy. COVID. D.
think it's gonna
See
be
what I
that. But
did
that's
there?
a good idea. I see what you did there, and it's
Yeah.
wonderful. So let's talk a little bit today about what that 2 years looked like for everybody.
Boy.
Paul, what did it look like for you?
Well, okay, where do we begin?
You talk about you were out there on the road, you were on the hamster wheel, you were rolling, you were flying, you were working, and then it stopped.
Well, yeah, I mean, for me personally, and I know this is the same for a lot of people, and I don't want to get too serious here, but, it's finances, right?
Yeah.
You have to pivot your checkbook. That's what we had to do.
Or lack of it.
So that was it. If our life was a pyramid, I mean, the checkbook was at the very top, right
Yeah.
at the point. So yeah, we had to, like everybody else, just get skinny, cut this, cut that. Don't go. We couldn't go out to eat anyway, but
Right.
so that saved us some money anyway. But you just kind of make some changes. For us, it's been financially. And then once that we kind of settled into that change to where we knew it was going to be different, then we started to think about, okay, how are we going to get through this? Because we don't think this is going to end. Here we are in year 2. At first, Jamie and I thought, this will be a couple months.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, no big deal. This will pass like the flu bug. And, of course, it didn't. So now that we have adjusted our lifestyle the way to fit more practically to our income, to be quite honest, we are now trying to get creative, very creative,
Yep.
which is what brings us here today and what brings all three of us together as far as the future of of our business.
Right. What do you think, Shelbs?
I mean, I think that the whole world changed 2 years ago, and we're still trying to figure it out, right? Not just as a company or personally, but the entire events industry. You know, what we've seen is that organizations that we serve that are nonprofits are having to go virtual. You know, we basically turned your home into a virtual studio with technology. So it turns out like all three of us traveled quite a bit pre-pandemic. And then in spring of 2020, when the whole world fell apart, we spent a lot more time at your place, which is where our studio is located now.
Yeah. And that was one of the biggest change for me and my husband is having this group of people here that we love deeply. And to me, a lot of good really came out of it, and that the relationships that developed out of that are stronger than they've ever been. There's been a lot of, to be honest with you, there's been a lot of laughing. There's been some crying. There's been frustration. But the biggest frustration has been these poor people out there trying to raise money. How are we going to be able to still assist that? And how are we going to be able to help that? It wasn't as much how is Stokes Auction Group or this group of people going to survive.
Right.
It was how are we going to help these communities survive? And you know what? I just recently heard that the best things that come out when you learn the most is when you're experiencing the most pain, or things are at their darkest moment, or when you really think the sky is falling. It's then that we really dig deep and try to figure out what the heck are we going to do to get this figured out. And there's a lot of comedy around it, but there's a lot of seriousness around it too. You know, and the checkbook is a real deal.
It absolutely is. It was for us. Everybody's life is different. Everybody's situation is different. But what I'm very proud of is that what you just mentioned, that the need for the charities that we serve, that I knew never went away.
Yeah.
That's a part of my heart and a part of who I am. I wasn't on the back burner for 6 months until I figured out what I was going to do. Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you're
here we
a
are.
perfect example, right? And I think that part of the pivot has really come down to relationships. You know, you look at the organizations that were able to survive this pandemic well, those are the ones that have those built-in relationships that have been forged for years and years that they're able to maintain. You know, and I think that that's what we've seen within this pandemic is like people are like, I don't know what we're going to do, but let's see if Bill's okay, right? And by insulating that relationship is kind of where we see a lot of these nonprofits continue to thrive.
And I think we got into a situation too where we were trying to put a square peg in a round hole, and it's a completely different creature.
Now, are we the square peg, or are we the?
We are the square peg in the round hole we haven't found yet, actually. So, but you know what I'm saying is that we're like, okay, how do you take the charity auctions and move it into a virtual world?
Yeah.
You know, and they're two opposite creatures.
They really are.
They are two opposite creatures. One is a program, one is a highlight situation, and one is a live thing.
What are we talking about now? What's a live thing?
The live thing is the live events, or whatever. What
is the thing that is live?
The thing that is live
is
the people in the ballroom. That is live. But that we're live virtually too. See what I'm saying about square peg around?
Yeah, no, for sure. And you know, people that watch these shows are also alive. But I think by live, you're talking about like a in-person live event.
Even though I'm killing it.
Oh,
see what I did?
See what I did there? Anyway.
I'm very sensitive to that right now.
Who thinks Tuesday, 2/2/22 was something?
2/2/22. This last Tuesday.
Groundhog's Day. Was it or was it not Groundhog's Day?
I mean, you make it sound like Doc Brown was about to jump out of the DeLorean. Like, what did you expect?
Let me tell you, 2/2/22 is like the cherry on the sundae. I think that caps off what we are experiencing. It was the final, here you go, Tuesday, 2/2/22. It's Groundhog's Day. Oh, by the way, here's 6 more weeks of winter. Freeze your butts off.
Wait, is this when the asteroid came by too? Is this the same story?
No, the asteroid came by recently, 1.2 million miles away from us, so that was a little scary.
Yeah, talking about having to pivot, right? Get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
Yeah.
I'm just really disappointed we didn't send up Bruce Willis on that trip.
I am too. I love me some Bruce.
Oh, he if we needed him, he would have been the guy.
I think he just
right?
Totally.
Oh my God!
Right?
Him and Samuel L. Jackson out there with him too.
Wait, Samuel L. Jackson isn't in that movie.
No, but he should have been. He could cuss at that thing and make it go away.
You're thinking of the other guy from the not 8 Mile, Green Mile. What's the guy's name? Michael.
I know who me Samuel Jackson is. I know me Samuel.
Talking about the
man.
Jedi,
The
Samuel,
man. Samuel.
and L.
Samuel.
Yeah,
Jackson.
he's too busy fighting snakes on a plane.
I know
mean,
he
come
is.
on, he can't be worried about an asteroid.
get these snakes off of this plane. I missed an MFer in there, but hey, we're gonna leave it. This is a
We're going to
G-rated
leave it because it is a
podcaster.
G-rated podcast. I did learn that. You can't say cuss words on here. I will probably have to be very cautious of that. But where I was going with the 2222 is it's the cherry, in my opinion, on the Sunday, saying we're getting ready to push COVID behind us. We got to move forward. How do we move forward? And we're here to tell you, just like we did last time, we don't have a clue. So,
Nor do we have the answer.
nor do we have the answer.
I'll tell you that
However.
some of the solutions we've been coming up with. So we're getting calls that are like, hey, Omicron might be a thing. What do we do with our event? And we're telling people, follow up with your venues, follow up with those contractors, figure out what their deposit situation looks like, see the drop dead date on some of these agreements, and then try to push it back if you can. And if you can't, then do something online. Like, don't do nothing. Like,
Don't do nothing.
That's not a solution.
Or if you get booted out of one venue, look at another.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, expend all your options here, right? Isn't that?
Yeah.
Wouldn't
That's
that be worth
exactly
it?
right. You
And
know
how
what?
many schools are going back to campus, right? A lot of schools have moved off of campus because of alcohol conflicts
Yeah.
and stuff of that nature. We're hearing a lot of those schools go back on campus because it's a cheaper alternative. And that's still something rather than nothing, right?
It is still something. Yep.
But being drunk in a school never felt right anyway.
Never.
Not
It
that I
never-
ever experienced
never,
that
ever.
at
No,
all, but
no,
my
I'm
friends
sure
have
you
told
didn't.
me.
Drunk in the gymnasium
No,
where you used to eat
wouldn't
lunch
be
when
a
you were
good
a kid?
idea. Wouldn't be a good
Oh
idea.
man, I don't know. I think it'd be
Especially
cool.
not for a grandmother of 9. That
A
would be bad.
grandmother of 9 drunk in
9.
a school.
No,
I-
it's never going to happen.
Man, I
At
feel like
least
you could
it's not
write a
gonna be
novel just to
recorded.
get a character to that scenario. Like, wow.
But what do we do? What do we do?
Give her
We
a
have
bid
to
card.
give
That's
her a
what
bid
you do.
card. That's what we do. Give that woman a bid
That's what
card
you do.
and take her bid.
There you
Also, if
go.
you're looking for a volunteer, Kelly cannot go on a school campus. Just in case.
That is not true. I'm very good on a school campus. I'm very trustworthy.
Yep, for sure.
But what do we do moving forward? What do we do getting back in there? Do we take what we knew before and turn it on its head? And,
Yes.
And I think we do. I
Turn it
think-
on its head. Absolutely.
Turn it on its head. Nuke what we did before.
Yeah, and also like be self-aware. Like
Yep.
be self-aware of whom you have in your organization and what your organization is about, right? If you're going to go out there and raise $5 million because you haven't been together in a while, like it's not going to happen. Like be realistic, be self-aware, and connect with those people in the community and talk to them.
Yeah,
Figure
and do
out where they
remember,
are.
we don't know what these people have
Great
been through
idea.
either,
Yeah.
you
Right.
know? We don't know what their job situation is, you know, before, you know, we had that whole extra $600 a week that everybody was getting.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Everything was wonderful, you know, so people were very, very giving. We really don't know. So we could be, even in an organization like that's been doing it for 30 years, right? They could be up against something different because their community is up against something different. I know we're all affected financially. I know that everybody out there is affected financially, and people are typically going to give what they can give. Now, not to hog the mic, but I'm going to for a moment.
Too late.
I came up with a really great idea when I was in there curling my hair.
Okay, all right.
Looks
Okay.
great, by the way.
You
Well,
curled
thank
your hair
you.
today?
I did.
Oh,
I
yeah.
curled my hair today. I just wanted
Couldn't tell.
to be the rose between two thorns.
Oh. Wow.
Nice.
How long you been holding on to that
Oh,
one?
yeah.
What, a week?
Anyway, what about something as silly as, you know, I was thinking about turning things on its head. What about, you know, putting into your community something as silly as encouraging every one of your families to start a money jar for that organization?
Oh.
So it could, you know, we have lots of great organizations. One of my favorite is Cystinosis, and they do, they have in their gala, what they do is all these different people go out and raise money for the same organization, but they do different snippets of things, different, you know, like skateboarding or skiing or different things like that.
Lemonade stand.
Lemonade
that
stand,
kind of stuff.
and they get to walk across that stage with that check of this is what they raised. And some of them are large and some of them are not. I mean, it could be $1,500. It could be $200,000, depending on what they do. But what if you encouraged your communities to do something as small as that and bring it to your gala? You could really start a change jar campaign. Call it that.
Change
Change jar campaign.
Hey,
I mean, I feel like this is going to work in schools potentially. Like, set it out at the pickup line. Is that what you're thinking?
No, like each house. Each home.
Oh.
Like you come home and, put it where you're,
Now
and you
I'm
dump your
tracking.
change. And then
I got I got a coffee jug full of change. I mean,
Mark and I have
everybody
one.
does.
We just dumped it, and I was surprised what was in it, Now, the bummer.
Canadian quarters, huh?
No, but the bummer is rolling the money. But, you make it a night. So you could do a twofold thing. I mean, I'm just saying, that's
Come
part of the
on.
dumping it on its head.
They have a coin star now.
They take 10% and
Oh,
15%.
10%. That's a dime of every dollar.
And that's a
back
lot of
here.
money when you talk about it. I mean, let's just talk about it. That's a lot of money.
Okay.
Stuart?
Sure. Or you know what you should do is get somebody to sponsor the other half of your change donation, right? So, hey, Grandma, I don't want to roll this change. Will you pay 10% of whatever I raise?
Hey,
Boom.
that's not a bad
Then
idea, dude.
You don't have to sit in your
Boom.
living room floor and roll
Boom.
change until your hands are dirty.
This is called brainstorming.
Hey.
people.
This is called brainstorming. Have you seen that there's quarters out there that have a special imprint on them, and a quarter can be worth $400?
No, don't say that because I just turned in a whole bunch
I
of
promise you.
Really?
There's a whole corner of Twitch and the internet where people are just opening rolls of quarters and looking through each one, and then when people see that they find one, they're like, "Hey, you just made $400." This is real.
No kidding. So
Same
they're
thing with
special
dollar bills.
Vintage
Yeah.
minting of a
Stinks.
quarter or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
See, now your brain's going. Now you're like, man, I wish I wouldn't have taken that to Coinstar. That's
Never
where they
did.
make
I
their
rolled
money.
every single one of those things and took it to the bank. Thank you very much. I talk about going old school and dumping it on its head. I am walking the talk. Rolled that stuff.
How about having the grandkids, or in your case, the kids do it?
You could do it. You absolutely
I mean,
have
how
coin rolling
long would it
pizza
take?
parties.
What if you call it a roll-a-thon?
Boom. Bring your change jars. We are
Hey.
developing.
And then
idea.
hashtag roll-a-thon ABC school, and then everybody posts pictures of them
Right?
rolling and gathering
Yeah.
change.
So these are ideas, community, we can do. Send us your ideas,
Yeah.
but boom, that comes from just curling your hair.
Yeah. What if you dressed up in a Santa suit in November and then went and rung a bell in front of a grocery store?
Well, that would be illegal, I think. I'm not sure, but I mean,
Okay.
I like where you're going, but we don't need to be in
Don't do
jail.
that. Okay,
No,
we don't
yeah.
want to go to the jail. Okay. Well, cool.
Oh, that was substance right there.
Thick,
Right? Stuff
strong.
for the kids to do.
Kids to do, and it could be for hospitals, it could be for schools, it could be for anything. I mean, rotaries, it could be for anything.
Sure.
Think about a rotary. Okay, I just had this another thought.
Uh-oh.
Think about a rotary.
Here we go.
All those people in rotaries
Engine's
are
starting up.
businesses.
It's starting to take off.
It's starting to take off, right? The brain is working. So you have a roll-a-thon, like you said, on a certain day, and, here you go. You sell tickets to the roll-a-thon.
You've lost me.
No, you sell tickets to the roll-a-thon. You have a pizza party kind of a thing.
Okay.
Because we're all going back in person, Shelby.
Okay.
And it can be part of, you're talking about starting small.
Right?
Who can roll the fastest?
Who can roll the fastest?
Who can roll the fastest?
Anything. Just make it
$5
fun.
worth of nickels. I can do it in 4 seconds.
Yeah, but just do the fun thing. So if you have a roll-a-thon, it's back in person. It's small. It's a pizza party, right?
Okay.
It could be much like our house parties that we've been having virtually. It could be something along those lines.
That's right. That's right.
Turn it on its head,
Turn
people.
it on its head. And speaking of roll-a-thon, we're going to roll out of COVID 1 quarter at a time,
1 quarter at a time.
Keep
One
an eye
quarter
out for
time.
those special quarters, though.
just like Vin Diesel.
I wish we knew what they look like.
It could
Does
be worth
anybody know?
$400. I've never
I
seen
don't
one.
know. If only they had the internet so we could check this on the web somewhere.
Oh, that's a great idea. We'll do that. We have the YouTube too, don't we?
Do you guys have the
Which,
YouTube?
by
on
the
that?
way,
the
do you guys
Google.
know we had 26 people look at our first episode or episode 0? How exciting is that?
Gosh, I didn't know you had that many family members.
20. I have that many family members.
26 people. That's
26
awesome.
people viewed us, and I only sent out 54 invitations.
Hey, 50%. Hey, that's where it's at, though, right?
Half of them gave you a mercy view.
They did, right?
Hey, we'll take a click or two, for
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I mean, here we are. We're going to continue to do this. We're going to continue to talk. We've heard a couple of ideas come from some listeners out there, so keep them coming. We'll integrate those in the next couple of episodes,
Yep.
and we're going to keep on keeping on. We're going to do the Omicron Pivot once again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have no idea what that is, but we're going to do it.
We're doing it.
We are doing it.
We're
We
doing it
are
right now.
We just
doing
did a show a
it.
couple days ago.
That's right.
We had a show last Saturday.
Yeah.
That was good show,
We had a
too.
good virtual show last Saturday for a local charity,
Yeah.
a local nonprofit that we've been working with for years.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we had some guests come in. We had a guest MC and one of our auctioneers, and of course our tech staff was here. And
We got one this Saturday.
you know,
Yep. We're
It
doing one
went
next
well.
Saturday. We got a couple next week as well. These are all virtual events we're talking about, and we're starting to get ready to go back in person too. We're booking airfares. We're getting stuff on the calendar, so it's exciting to go back. Hopefully, it goes back to some sort of normalcy. But between now and then, the Omicron pivot is high on mind.
Yeah, and if you're thinking about going back, move forward. Do it. Move forward until they say you can't. Because, there's barrier after barrier after barrier, and you just have to keep knocking them down just like you did in the very beginning, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. So keep on keeping on. Do the right thing. And have fun. Remember to support your local charities and ones you love. If you're head of a charity, why don't you reach out to somebody that you haven't talked to in a while, right? Say hello.
Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah.
You never know what they're thinking and what they need.
Well, and before we kind of wind down,
Well
one
said.
thing that we discussed on last week's podcast, which may not come back because of a technical hiccup, is that all three of us kind of interact with nonprofits in different ways,
Yep.
right? I'm more of a visual, digital, social media type. Kelly's more of a phone call type. And
I am.
then Paul has been getting handwritten cards from an organization he's helped for years.
absolutely.
And I think that highlights the best way that we like to communicate with the organizations out there. So kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Food for
And let
thought.
me say something real quick about that has nothing to do with charities. If you're thinking about somebody, call them. You never, ever know what's going on in their world. My aunt's septic tank went down, and I was just thinking about her the other day, and I didn't even know it, and I called her, and I made her day.
That's right.
So reach
Don't
out.
wait for your loved one's septic
Really?
tank
That's
to
terrible.
go down before calling.
Don't wait for the septic tank to go down. It's bad. You don't want that because then you feel
Things
guilty.
quickly go to
So if you think
Beep.
about them, call them. Call them, call them,
right.
call them.
Yeah.
and if I could just kind of piggyback on that, if you are running a charity and have for many years, or you're going to take over for someone who has, and you have some big donors that you haven't heard from in a while, reach out to them.
Just
Hey,
say hi.
how you guys doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just knock on the door and say hi.
Yeah, and don't call them and ask for money. I mean, if you're in the
Yeah.
fundraising space, we're not telling you anything you don't know, but insulate the relationship. Say, hey, how you doing? Everyone's had a tough couple of years, and we're going to get through it together.
Yeah.
Send them a text.
Send them a text.
Send
Shoot
them
them
a
an
text.
email. Write them an email.
Call them.
Call them on the telephone. If you have to find a payphone, good luck.
But they are there. They are out there. So
Payphones. Wow.
you got to drive alongside the freeway. But
thank you for being with us either online or via the podcast thread. We appreciate you being with us. Check out the attached description. You can find more of us on Facebook, on YouTube. If you'd leave us a review wherever you're listening, and because you like what you hear, we will definitely appreciate any feedback you send there. 5 stars if you'd be so kind. Thank you for joining us this week,
Be bold, everybody.
be healthy.
and go do good.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.